How's it going, YouTube? Back at it again with another video. So the other day I was driving to work and my oil pressure completely dropped to zero, or at least on the gauge it did. And on the dash it was saying low oil pressure, turn the engine off, and the oil pressure gauge right here was just a couple notches above zero. But I did not have the check engine light on, only the little oil can icon was flashing. So I'm pretty sure that I have good oil pressure. It's just a sensor. So we're going to be replacing that today. So I got here it's like a oil pressure sensor kit. Comes with your oil pressure sensor. And a little filter. Because if you're doing the sensor switch, you might as well change the filter too. And this little setup is by Dorman. There's your and it's inverted. There's your part number if you ever want to get it. And you're also going to need a special socket. This is 1 1/16. And you want to make sure it's a oil pressure sensor switch socket, because it's not the same as your regular 1 1/16 socket. See how the corners are rounded out? So your socket, or sorry, your sensor fits into your socket nice and flush, perfectly. No gaps, nothing. Whereas your regular 1 1/16 socket has the straight edges, and if your oil sensor is on there too tight, you might strip it and have an even harder time taking it out. Okay guys, so we are ready to start. So before you start on anything else, you are going to need to disconnect your negative cable from the battery. That'll reset your ECU or computer. And we are going to disconnect our vent hose from the PCV valve. Point that downwards. And there's another line right here. This line right here. We'll be removing that too to give some room to work with. That leads to your solenoid right here. So this is the line that we're going to remove for the solenoid, and mine just pops right off. Not sure if it's supposed to pop off. I was pretty sure that there was a clip, but mine just came off that easy. Just kind of move that off to the side, and we may need to remove it back there as well. Okay, so this line that we need to remove runs all the way down here, and you just got to feel for it, but there's like this little clip that you press it in, and pull up like that. You press the little gray clip on it, and the other side of the hose. didn't have that. That's why it was so easy to take off. So we're gonna put that off to the side, and we're ready to start. So our oil pressure sensor is all the way back here behind the intake manifold, and you just got to feel for it. It should be a wiring harness connected to it. I got a grasp on the wiring harness. You just lift the tab up, put that up to the side, and there's oil that whenever I disconnected, the oil came off from my hand, so it's obviously bad. So you take your socket and put it over your oil sensor. I have to feel where it is again because I lost it. And I just felt the socket drop in there, so we're good. Next, you're gonna take your wobble adapter and an extension. You may need, this is about what, 3 inches extension, or you may need a longer one. This is 6 inch. We're gonna try this one first and attach that piece to your socket. Okay, so this may be too short. We're gonna try a long extension. Try that. Oh, like that. Okay, so the socket attached with the wobble adapter and 6-inch extension is seated on the sensor. Now we're going to take a ratchet, and you may want to use a flex head ratchet just to be able to get down in there better, but you might be able to get by with a ratchet. So let me give you a visual of what that looks like. Our extension is way down back there, seated on the sensor. All we gotta do is attach our ratchet and start undoing it. Alright, so it doesn't take much to loosen it. Take our ratchet back off. Our socket extension, and just undo it by hand because I'm pretty sure it's loose enough to be able to take it off by hand. Okay, so I got a grip on the sensor and I'm loosening it. There we have it, our old oil sensor, and yeah, it's pretty messed up. Damn, that looks terrible. All oil in there. So that's why we were reading low oil pressure, but not necessarily that we have low oil pressure. Put that in there. So for the next step, this is probably going to be even harder than removing the sensor, is taking the filter out. And the filter is way down in there, so you're either going to need a pick tool to get in and fish it out, or a bolt that you can thread into the filter and then pull it out. So like this. So here's our new filter. I'm going to depict it the best way I can. Get down in there, kind of catch the lip of it or the corner of it, and then pull it up like that. Or find you a bolt that is able to thread down in there. This just barely fits on there, just tight or snug. Thread it down in there and then pull it out. So we're going to try this method first. If not, we'll try the pick. And again, you just have to feel for it, because there's no way you'll be able to see down in there. Okay, so that method didn't work, so we're gonna try the pick. Okay, so we are trying our hook pick. I can feel the filter. Alright, so we're trying something else out to pull that filter out, because the bolt or the pick method didn't work for me. So I rigged this little piece of wire and bent the tip. So hopefully that works, and that's more than enough room to be able to fit on the filter. Fish it out. Alright, take your wire. Okay guys, so I rigged a new piece. Maybe that'll help me pull it out better, like that. Oh, I had that sucker and it fell down. Alright, so I got it pulled out. Just your regular aluminum wire. I don't know, about less than a 1/4 inch bend, and then a hook at the top to pull out with your finger. Okay, so now to install our new oil pressure sensor filter, just drop it in there. It's in there, and I'm just gonna push it down with this bolt. It doesn't fall down in there that much anyway. Now our new oil pressure sensor. Remove your cap. Seal it down. And just thread it in by hand. So we're going to take our socket and put it over the sensor to be able to thread it in better. Okay, so we got our socket, wobble, and extension in place. Now to tighten it. Alright guys, so I got my old oil pressure sensor filter here, and it wasn't even that clogged, but it was mostly the sensor that was full of oil at the where it connects to the harness. So we got our oil sensor in place and snugged up. Now to put your wiring harness back in place. Okay, so now for your solenoid wire. It just clicks back in. No need to press anything, just click it back in here or back there and right there. Put your vent hose back in your PCV valve, right there. I have an oil catch can, so just my fuel line running to my oil catch can. Also clicks in, and then put everything else back together that you may have taken apart. I just dropped my oil catch can, so I'm just gonna attach it back on here on this mount. Now don't forget to connect your negative battery cable. Back on. Tighten that down. And you're good to go. Ready to start your truck. See if we have a proper oil pressure reading. Damn. So as you can see, our oil pressure gauge needle right here climbed right all the way up where it should be, and before it was just barely a hair above zero. So there you have it. Not so easy fix, but it's better than taking the intake manifold off and fuel line and all the other stuff I've seen other people take off in the videos. So like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the video. You think I left anything out, whatever it is, leave it in the comments below. Thank you for watching.